ordinance 439, amending ordinance 433, which is the previous license. Jerry, would you just honor reading that, please?
Whereas an ordinance amending ordinance 433, the amending ordinance levying the privilege, occupational, and license tax on trades, occupations, and businesses, both wholesale and retail, in the city or elsewhere doing the business in the city of Cumberland, Kentucky. Deposition of funds collected, penalties for violations, and rate for levy. Now therefore be ordained by the city of Cumberland, Kentucky, that the following amended rates for the privilege, occupational, and license tax for each year and for each location, regardless of ownership, is hereby levied upon all trades, professional, and businesses, both wholesale and retail, in the city or elsewhere doing business in the city of Cumberland, Kentucky, are adopted as follows.
That's it, that's all y'all do.
Yeah. Okay, the second thing we have on the meeting is for council discussion action on Tri-City Utility Authority Incorporated agreement. This is something that's been going on about 13 years, so it's kind of imperative that we do view this and, if possible, get it approved tonight. And I've asked David, is the secretary of the Tri-City Utility, so I've asked him to kind of go over some of the things. If you have any questions, just pop up and ask him.
Okay, I'm hoping that everyone has took time to sit down and read this, so I'm just gonna kind of hit the highlights that have to deal with the city of Cumberland. You see on page 3 that the term of this agreement is for 1 year, which starts on July 1st, 2014 and will end on June 30th, 2014, unless extended or modified. Unless extended or modified by written agreement of the parties. So we may keep this agreement or it may change. So that'll be left up to the board as well as the councils to approve again. Number 3, consideration. Of course, this water line connection was put in as consideration for the emergency use of the interconnect facilities. Each city shall pay Tri-City Utility Authority an annual interconnection fee in the amount of $100, which will be due on June 30th, 2014. Then after that, it will be due on or before December 1st of each year. On page 5, number 8, Cumberland's responsibilities. I'm not going to read those, but pretty much you can see what Cumberland will agree to do. Labor, insurance, compliance, monitoring. Benham is also responsible for the same things, unless the utility board decides to go with other routes, which is we're looking at contracting out an operator for the utility, which the cost of that would be about $40 a month divided by 3 ways for about 2 hours at $20 an hour. If you look back over on page 9, number 11, certified operators, kind of see there. Then alternative method for exercising pumps is where it talks about the utility authority may choose to get an outside person to exercise the pumps, but there will be a certified operator from each city that will be trained to use that as a backup.
You have to remember that this utility board, the way it stands right now, does not require a certified license. In other words, it can be anybody that's trained, but just for safety measures, we felt like it'd probably be better. So, but now, right now, the Tri-City Utility Board has no money whatsoever.
That was one of my questions.
Yeah, no money whatsoever.
Okay, so it's zero then.
We have zero right now.
It started out with $1 million, or not, almost $1 million.
Well, see, the money has to come down. As you work, you get the money. But there is money out there, but the board themselves has no money. So there is money out there to do some work with.
And Karen, this whole system's just gonna be used for emergency purposes.
That's the whole purpose of
That's the whole
building.
purpose.
It's
In case one of the
emergency.
cities.
One city. And the way it works is if one city has like a board water advisory, then, and you have to use their water, then, or are using their water, then all cities have to have a board water advisory because you can handle it that way.
And her primary responsibility will be pump station one, where Benham would be
Yeah.
pump station number two on that.
Yeah.
Of course, Lynch's priority thing will be distributing the water down to
What Lynch is doing is they are causing a trickle
Crew.
all the time. They're gonna be trickling water through the system all the time.
Just one thing I saw on, I read 3 or 4 times was, you know, no money start off on $300, $100 from each place, each month ain't very much.
No, it's not each month.
Because it,
It's
I mean,
one time.
one time a year,
Yeah.
also I'm gonna say one time a year. And, think about where you had to do the testing and stuff like this, different things on it.
Well, you don't.
Delete that fund pretty quick, won't
Well,
it?
see, really, you don't do what you call testing
Do
of
flush
water,
them.
because we do not,
Well, it
run a
doesn't fall
water
under the
plant.
water, laws.
Yeah, see, they don't do a water, we're not a water plant, that's one thing, DOW, no,
That's
you're
one-
not.
That's one good thing, so they
Yeah,
don't fall
because
under
each
it.
city's responsible for checking their own water. But now you got to take into consideration that after a year, or even before then, we see it's not gonna work, we can always make changes. But this agreement was originally made for a year to try to get things going.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I thought
Good
it
thing. We should have this going.
Yeah, it's been
Did
a
you
long,
have any
hard
input on
process.
that?
Well, I was just gonna finish going over a few things which kind of.
Sorry to interrupt you,
Oh,
but I
you're
just covered
fine.
some things.
Number 15 talks about maintenance of the existing systems, which kind of, on page 10, which Carolyn spoke of. During the terms of this operating agreement, Benham, Cumberland, and Lynch shall maintain their respective water systems, including water treatment, storage, and distribution, to ensure that the interconnect facilities will function as designed. Then the wholesale rate is $2.25 per 1,000 gallons. The meter readings, of course, Cumberland shall read the water meters at pump station number 1, Benham will read pump station number 2, and then those will be provided back to the Tri-City Utility Board. Documentation, all 3 cities shall provide Tri-City Utilities with copies of operating records, test results, flushing records, and other documents, so we can verify that each city is performing its duties under this agreement. And then number 19 is probably one of the most important. As Jerry was talking about, $300, that's not a lot of money. So reimbursement reconciliation, which has kind of already been happening to a sense. But, of course, there's insurance on the 2 pump stations. There's going to be electricity on the 2 pump stations, as well as the water that comes from Lynch every month. So those expenses, the kind of what the board has talked about, and then Benham approved this last week, is each city will pay a bill. Then if they've paid too much, the utility authority will reimburse them. The bills will come to Robin, and Robin will get them to me, because one of my functions as secretary treasurer is to do financial reports and send out bills. So this will all start on or before August 15th, and then the 15th of each month. And kind of, these are over estimates, but it looks like a monthly expense for the city of Cumberland is going to be about $215. And this may be a little bit more, may be a little bit less. Then a yearly expense, which would be your insurance, your filing fee with Secretary of State, would be $505. Because Carolyn had got estimates on the insurance in both cities.
It was $500 for our city, I didn't even get Benham.
Benham's-
Benham had to get their own.
Benham's was, I think, around 600, so I done 600 for both cities and divided by 3. Then of
And
course,
then that $15 gets distributed between the 3 cities.
yes, yeah, the yearly expense that I came up with, the 505, was taking all 3 cities, adding all the expenses together and dividing by 3. So that would be each city at $505. Then the monthly expense, what I done was, and that $100 is also included in the 505. Then I done KU $75, which is way more than what it will really be. Benham Power Board at $75 for each city. Then you're looking at your operator. I think we discussed about 2 hours a month is what Leo said.
Yeah, but then we also discussed, maybe letting the city workers do it while
So
they're in the
that's-
city, so.
That's a fee that may be there, may not. Then of course $15 a year you have to pay the Secretary of State. Then of course we have to pay Lynch for their water, whatever trickles down through the
So
line.
like around 2,500 to 3,000 a year estimated for each city.
Uh-huh. And that's to maintain, to keep insurance, to keep the lines tested, flushed out, as well as keep the electricity on, cause obviously if you don't have electricity on those buildings, especially in the winter time, you'll run into problems.
Benham and Cumberland's been paying the one, not Benham and Cumberland, but Lynch and Cumberland have been splitting the bills on electricity now to keep it going. But now I will add that, Leo Miller, Mike that works for Leo Miller, see, they're not making any money now for doing that because their work's done, but Mike's been going in and keeping the system going. He's been turning them on, draining them, doing everything, and so he will be teaching us how to do it. They've been doing it just to help us out. Does anybody have any more questions, or? Have anything else you need to add, Dave?
I don't have anything else other than the effective date, of course, will not become effective until all three city councils approve it. The Tri-City Utility Board has approved it, with the exception of if the city council has a change or something, then we would, look at the changes if the majority of the council voted for the
I think
changes.
Benham's already passed it.
I was here, so was that the bank where
Yeah,
they
but I
already?
don't, Lynch has too, Lynch has too, so. We're the only one. So does anybody have any more questions?
Oh, sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Somebody wanna make a motion and,
I'll make a motion that we accept the operating agreement.
I'll go ahead and second that.
What is that called?
The
Yes,
operating.
operating. Okay, I'll take a vote on the council.
Gilliam?
Yes.
Gilliam?
Yes.
Jarvis?
Yes.
Bush?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?